Welcome to Engage Math Pre-Algebra Lesson 1, Problem number 8, where we're classifying numbers based on this table. And it just shows that all of these numbers that we currently know about are called real numbers. And most of the numbers we think about are rational numbers, but we're going to start with natural, the way you naturally start counting, 1, 2, 3, forever. Whole numbers include the number 0 in addition to all the natural numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, forever. And then the integers are all of the natural and whole numbers. So they definitely include everything that we've had before. But basically, to get the integers, you're taking the whole numbers and all the opposite signs on them. Rational numbers are simply numbers that can either be written as a fraction or a decimal or even a repeating decimal. So most of the numbers we know are rational. And then irrational numbers are numbers where they really just go forever and ever without repeating, without showing a pattern. So for example, pi or the square root of 5, something we just don't know off the top of our heads. But if you were ever to put that into a calculator, it would just have decimals going forever. Even though the calculator would cut it off at some point, it really goes on forever and ever. All right, so let's look at each one and get started. So 5, it's definitely a natural number. It's definitely a whole number. So I'm going to abbreviate here. So it's natural, it's whole. And if it's natural and whole, it has to be an integer. It has to also be rational because we can write it as either a fraction or a decimal. It ends, it doesn't go on forever and ever without showing a pattern. So it's rational, and then we have real. Okay, I'm going to go through the other ones much more quickly. -7, it's not natural, not whole, because it's negative, but it is an integer. And then, of course, if it's an integer, it's automatically going to be rational. I'm going to abbreviate that. And then, of course, real. Okay, 0. 0 is everything that letter A was, except for it's not natural because it starts, the natural numbers do not include 0. So this is going to have a lot of different terms that we can use, but it's not going to include natural. It'll include the whole, the integer, the rational, I'm going to abbreviate again, and of course the real. Okay, the square root of 3. All right, this is the first time we're getting this. That is not a square root of something we know. It is irrational. It would go forever and ever without ending or repeating. Irrational, but it's still real. Okay, -2 4/10. So that is still rational. It's not an integer because it's not like -1, -2, -3. It skips right over the -2 4/10. So it's rational and it's real. It's nothing before that. 3/4 is also going to be rational and real. Okay, and then this is read at, it's actually 1/3 is the value, but it's 0.3 or 0.3 repeating or 3/10 repeating. So really what that means is it is, in this case, rational because it does repeat and it's real. Whereas 9/3 we really know is just the number 3. So now we're back to having everything. It's natural, it's whole, it's an integer, it's rational, and it's real. Okay, thanks for joining us here today at